Week 2 of the NFL season, our Houston Texans travel to Tennessee to take on the 0-1 Titans. Now, the loser of this game falls to 0-2. The winner probably takes an early half-game lead on the division. Now, both these teams come in with an 0-1 record. Both happened in a different way. The Texans played an elite team, the Patriots, and ended up losing by 7 by playing sloppy all game. The Titans played bad all game as well, but they did play Miami, so take that however you want. Take it. But with that being said, let's get into some matchups. Let's start off with the Tennessee offense versus the Texans defense. Now, it is going to be kind of a little bit tough to, I guess, predict, because Taylor Lewan is in the concussion protocol, so there's like a 50% chance he doesn't play. But I'm just going to go out and say he does play. So throughout these predictions, I guess, I'm considering Lewan is playing. Marcus Mariota, it's already been said, he's playing. Delanie Walker is out for the season. Now, run game. The Titans' run game versus the Texans' run defense. Now, the Titans' running backs, honestly, I don't expect them to have much success on the Texans' run defense. The Titans' interior offensive line is average. Taylor Lewan is going to play, but then at right tackle, Jack Conklin is most likely out. So I don't think this offensive line can handle J.J. Watt. They can't handle D.J. Reader. And even if Christian Covington doesn't play, Joel Heath, Angelo Blackson, Brandon Dunn, they're almost about as good as Christian Covington. And of course, you got Jadeveon Clowney and Whitney Merciless. They'll probably not be rusty this game. You got Benardrick McKinney. You got Zach Cunningham. You got Dylan Cole subbing in and out. You got Tyrann Mathieu and Kareem Jackson, who can tackle at the line of scrimmage. Aaron Coleman can also do the same thing. So I just do not expect the Titans to be able to get a run game going. But that's not where it ends with the Titans run game. They also have Marcus Mariota, who is really mobile. And I'm not too sure if the Texans can stay disciplined enough to contain Mariota. Last year, Clowney, he wasn't disciplined, and he allowed Mariota to go for like a 20-yard touchdown run. So I'm not sure if they can really shut down Marcus Mariota. I'm sure Marcus Mariota will have his, running moments, but for the most part, I think they'll do a decent job of, I guess, containing him. Now, in the past game, the Titans, they lost Delanie Walker. Delanie Walker is easily their best offensive player. I don't think that's even debatable. He is out for the season, and that really sucks. That was Marcus Mariota's security blanket, so he's no longer there. Now the actual wide receivers, Corey Davis, he's not that good. He hasn't shown anything that says he's good, so as of now, I'll just say he's not a good player. Rashad Matthews, another player that's not really dangerous at all. Not good either. You could say he's below average to average. And Taywan Taylor, who hasn't really shown anything either. So at receiver, the Titans are looking, yikes, terrible. Now, of course, understand that the Texans' corners aren't exactly good, but Jonathan Joseph did have a good game versus New England. Aaron Colvin's a stud. That is known. Pretty sure Johnson Batamosi is the one that's going to be playing in Kevin Johnson's spot. He's not good, if I'm being honest. But this is the same group that pretty much stopped the Patriots wide receivers. The Patriots wide receivers are probably about as good as the Titans wide receivers, if we're being honest. The difference is the Titans no longer have a good tight end because Delaney Walker's hurt, and Marcus Mariota is not Tom Brady. Now, the reason the Patriots were able to drive down the field against the Texans was because of number 87, Rob Gronkowski. He was just having his way with the Texans. You can't stop that guy. Now again, Titans don't have a weapon like that, so I'm predicting that Mariota's going to struggle to find an open guy. And yes, the Titans do have Dion Lewis, who last week had 5 receptions for 30 yards. I expect, around the same stats this week for him. I don't think Dylan Cole and Zach Cunningham are gonna struggle with Dion Lewis. I really don't. So I feel like Mariota's gonna struggle to find open receivers. The run game's not gonna be there. So it brings me to the next thing. The pass protection. How will they hold up against the Texans defense? J.J. Watt, late in the game, or second half against the Patriots, it looked like he knocked the rust off. Clowney, Merciless are still rusty. By the end of the game, they were still rusty. I expect both Merciless and Clowney to knock that rust off this week against the Titans and really dominate what is a shaky offensive line to start the season. DJ Reader had 1.5 sacks versus Tom Brady. I don't think there's a guy on that Titans interior offensive line that can stop DJ Reader. DJ Reader's going to have a great game. And I don't think anyone can stop Christian Covington, Joel Heath, or Angelo Blackson from also having a good game. So I really expect this Texans pass rush to really get to Mariota this week. I don't think Mariota's really going to do much this week. I think the Texans defense is straight up going to dominate this game. Now let's flip over to the other side. The Texans offense versus the Titans defense. Run game wise. Last season, the Texans struggled to run the ball. Preseason, the Texans struggled to run the ball. Week 1 against the Patriots, the Texans were running the ball really well. And honestly, I expect more of the same to happen here against Tennessee. Last year, Tennessee, of course, they had a top-ranked running defense. Week 1 against Miami, that wasn't the case. They kind of struggled stopping the run, struggled stopping Gore. So I expect the Texans to be able to run the ball whenever they want against Tennessee. And if you really compare the Titans front 7 versus the Patriots, the Titans really only have Jurrell Casey and maybe Brian Orakpo. Morgan isn't really all that special. Harold Landry, he's a rookie. Rashaan Evans, he's a rookie. So I feel like the Texans can definitely dominate the line of scrimmage and get a run game going. And I know a lot of people are going to say, how? Or Titans fans in general are going to say, how? The Texans have no offensive line. That's no longer the case. Tackles, I'll give it to you. It's questionable, but down the middle, the Texans found 2 guards in free agency, Zach Fulton and Sunil Kelemeti, who are both, or were both known as good pass protectors, but as it turns out now, they're also good run blockers. Last week against the Patriots, the Texans ran for like 6.4 yards while running the ball behind Fulton, and like 4.6 yards while running the ball behind Kelemeti. and that's on average. And of course, we already have Nick Martin, who we already know is our best offensive lineman, really good player. So I expect the Texans to be able to run the ball easily down the middle. Now, on the outside, I don't really know what to expect because Seantrell Henderson is out for the season, our starting right tackle. I thought after that terrible sack he allowed, Rankin really, kind of came into his own and played well. Davenport, I thought, played well as well. But again, the Patriots don't have pass rushers. The Titans do have better pass rushers, so we'll see how that goes. But I do expect the Texans to be able to run the ball at will down the middle, down the Titans' throat. And then you also got to consider Deshaun Watson can scramble. I don't think the Titans are athletic enough up front to really be able to contain Deshaun Watson if he does choose to scramble, or if we do choose to do read options. Not too sure they're disciplined enough either, because new coaching staff, so I don't know how they coach. So I do think Watson isn't really going to choose to run much, because I think most of the run games on the straight up come from Lamar Miller and Alfred Blue, straight up running the ball down the Titans' throat. Now for our passing attack versus the Titans' passing defense. Last week, Watson struggled, but also last week, the Titans' defense also struggled. Malcolm Butler got burned for a 75-yard touchdown. And I expect more of the same. That secondary is extremely overrated. I don't think there's anyone in that secondary that can stop DeAndre Hopkins. Will Fuller will also be back for this game, so there's also no one in that secondary that can stop Will Fuller. Coty will most likely also be back. There is no one in that secondary, mostly Logan Ryan because he's a nickel corner. Logan Ryan can't stop Coty. Logan Ryan can't even stop Bruce Ellington. And Titans don't really have anyone that can stop our tight ends, if we're being 100% honest. Now, as far as the running backs go, the Texans don't really use the running backs in the passing game, so I don't really expect our running backs to really do much. And as far as pass protection goes, I know a lot of Titans fans think we have a terrible offensive line. Last year, that was the case. I agree with you, we did have a terrible offensive line, but even then, last year the Titans weren't able to do anything against the terrible Texans offensive line. The thing is though, this year, the Texans offensive line went through a complete overhaul. They already had Nick Martin, their really good center. Now they added Zach Fulton, a really good right guard, and Sunil Kilameti, about an average left guard. Davenport and Rankins, they're complete question marks if I'm being honest. I do expect Brian Orakpo, Harold Landry, and Derek Morgan to, have their place here and there, but I don't expect them to be able to dominate the game at all. If Watson wants it to be, this offensive line can look way better than it did last week, because last week, as you guys know, Watson was pressured like on 20 plays out of like 40 something. Most of that was all on Watson holding on to the ball too long. So the offensive line, huge upgrade compared to last year. Now, the keys to the game. On defense, the Texans need to contain Mariota. Do not let him run. Straight up. They can straight up shut down the run game. The corners and secondary can stop their receivers, but what good is all that if you can't stop the quarterback from scrambling around and picking up crucial third downs and all that stuff. And on offense, Deshaun Watson needs to take it slow. He needs to stop looking for the home run play, the big play, and just take what the defense gives you, especially Tennessee's defense, since it has so many holes. You could literally slice them up all the way down the field. Now my prediction. I'm predicting the Texans win 31-17. Now, I think it's going to be mostly because of the defense. I think our defense will really dominate the line of scrimmage. They'll dominate the game. They'll stop the Titans' really bad receivers. They'll stop the run. They'll make Mariota try to beat them, and Mariota won't be able to do that. I think Tyler Ervin will return a touchdown on a kickoff. I think our special teams is finally good, guys. And last week, the Dolphins also returned a kickoff versus the Titans. So I think Tyler Ervin is due for a return touchdown. If you saw last week's game, which I'm pretty sure you did, Tyler Ervin was averaging like 30 yards per return, and that's only second in the league. So Tyler Ervin is really about to bust one out. I think someone in the Texans secondary is also going to get a pick six on Marcus Mariota. Who? I don't know. I'm hoping for Tyrann Mathieu because he's so cool, but it could literally be any of the three safeties. It's going to be Jackson, Mathieu, or Justin Reed. One of them is going to, get a pick six. So that means 14 points are going to come off defense and special teams. Meaning Deshaun Watson and the Texans offense are only able to get 17 points on offense. Now what gives? Honestly, nothing. I think the Texans are going to go in with a different game plan going to Tennessee. Instead of, letting Watson just throw the ball everywhere, I think this game O'Brien really tries to ease Deshaun Watson back to where he was at last year. Obviously, against the Patriots, he struggled. Once we got the run game going, once, he started passing short passes, he kind of settled down a bit. So I think we'll do more of the same this week. I think we're just going to pound the ball down the Titans' throat, really manage the clock, keep our defense off the field, keep theirs on the field, and, manage the game with little short passes. I don't think O'Brien is going to be scared to, let Deshaun Watson throw it. I just think O'Brien's going to ease Deshaun Watson back into the game so he can knock that rust off that he clearly showed he had last week. So those are my predictions for the game. Be sure to comment down below your own predictions. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.